Good YouTube, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Equal. Today we are reacting to impressive channel video titled Tia and Tamera Mowry are feuding, but why? Chloe Bailey's label won't give her budget. Okay, and uh I don't know for some reason, I don't know if I'm the only person or probably I'm late in the whatever. I can't differentiate who Tia and Tamera is. I'm sorry. I can't differentiate who Tia is and who Tamara is. So whenever I look at them, I'm confused. I've not watched Sister before. I've never watched their show before. So it will be difficult trying to differentiate who is who. But anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hopefully one of you will help me differentiate them in the comments. Please help me differentiate how do I know this is Tia? How do I know this is Tamara? Because they look so much alike to me. Yeah, the same people. So I'll definitely need help with differentiating.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Impressive channel. The actress Tia Mowry is doing her own reality show on WeTV called My Next
So this is
Act.
Tia.
And in the teaser for her reality show, she revealed some interesting information.
Hold on.
She opened up about her divorce from her ex-husband Corey Hardrick and talked about how lonely she is, which I found to be pretty interesting because Tia said that she divorced her husband because she wanted to find her happiness again, and all her life she was never really by herself. I mean, when she was younger, she was always by her sister Tamara's side, and
Yeah, so how do I know who is Tamara? Okay, who is Tia? Who is Tamara? Ah, God.
when she got a bit older and started dating, she quickly settled down with Corey. They were together for over 20 years and they were married for 14 years. So never in her adult life did she really have time to
Okay,
be.
so Tia was married to this Corey Hadley or whatever his name is. And so I know Tamara is married to the white man, Adam. I hope I'm pronouncing his, I know, yeah, his name is Adam. But my issue is when they are together, I can't differentiate who is who. That's my issue.
Be by herself and learn what she wanted and kind of find her happiness because Tia was not in the happiest place in her marriage. So she left Corey to find her happiness and to find herself.
But you and your husband, like a lot of couples, decided that it was better to be lived, your life's better lived apart than together.
Yes.
How did you know that it was time
That's a really good
to
question.
take that route?
Americans who are traveling or living abroad have the right to vote from anywhere. Whether
I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness. I had actually, lost my grandmother. We had lost Elena Housley, and both of them at the same time. There was just an aha moment in me where I said, you know what? You need to tap in, see what's really going on with your happiness. Life is short. Let's go. Let's start working on you and really focusing on what really, really matters here, which is at the end of the day, your peace, your joy, and your happiness.
Now, when I hear Tia explain her reason for leaving her marriage, I don't think she's wrong per se. Like, I understand that it's never a good idea to stay in a relationship or a situation where you're not happy because that could definitely weigh on your mental health and your emotional health. It could just weigh on you overall. So I understand why she left. However, I don't think she considered the gravity of the decision and the aftermath. I don't think she weighed out the consequences and how it would affect her children and how it would affect herself. It's been pretty hard. I mean, just by looking at her trailer, you could see that she's going through it. You could see that it's not easy for her to date again.
But the one thing that I don't have is love.
It's not easy for her to see her children not live in a two.
My issue is yes, people divorce. How long have they been divorced? Let me see. How? Yeah.
Parent household anymore.
I've always wanted the family dynamic of having a mom and a dad in one household. And
So let's say it's been only a year since they divorced, because the divorce was finalized in April 2023. So it's been only a year since they divorced, and we've been together for like, it was a 14-year marriage, but I heard they've been together for 25 years or so. But they were married for 14 years. And after 14 years of marriage and 25 years of being together, and you divorce for 1 year, my first instinct is to find new love right after the marriage. I don't know, because you would definitely, because I think it's because she, just as she said, she's feeling lonely, so she's trying to fill that gap with by finding new love, and that wouldn't help in any other way. She should, well, I can't give her instructions on what she should do or what she shouldn't do, but like, yeah, and also because we've been together, you've always been attached to someone. That's what I'm trying to say. It's either your sister or your husband or your kids. And now you guys are not in the same roof, so she feels lonely. I understand her, understand her. But love, finding new love right after divorce wouldn't solve that problem. I don't know if I'm making sense here.
and when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer.
Also, after Tia got a divorce, it hasn't been easy for her to be alone. She revealed that she's not even close to her sister, Tamera, anymore.
Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now. I don't know, I just don't want to be alone.
Now, I thought this revelation about Tia not being close to Tamera anymore.
Oh, okay. So I just Googled, sorry guys, I'm pausing too much. I just Googled how to differentiate Tia. So Tamara has what? A mole on her cheek and Tia doesn't. Okay. So now I can
Was
differentiate.
interesting, but not surprising to me. Tia and Tamera live completely different
How do you
lives.
do that?
Tia lives in Southern California. She's in Hollywood. She's
So I'm
acting.
assuming the one in green here, this is Tamara and this is Tia, right?
Whereas Tamera lives in Northern California. She lives in Napa Valley.
Why didn't it ever occur to me? Let's Google the difference.
And she spends most of her time with her husband and her children. Now, every once in a while, she might come out and do a Hallmark movie, but most of the time, she's just with her family and helping her husband run
Yeah. Now I see them all. Okay.
his family winery. So they live in completely different places. And not to mention, they are completely different people. I don't know if you've watched the Tia and Tamera reality show and seen the dynamics of their relationship, but a lot of times they're not really on one accord. Not when it comes to business, not when it comes to parenting, not when it comes to relationships, not when it comes to fundamental things like their beliefs. Tia is more liberal and free, and Tamera is more conservative and traditional. Some might say that she shares the same perspective as her husband, Adam. And I think maybe Tia is not really close with Tamera's husband either, which is another
Why?
topic for another video, but they have fundamental differences. And when you have differences like that, there will be some distance.
We're very different.
Very different, huh?
Yeah.
How so?
My sister
Now I feel so happy to be able to tell the difference because of this Google. This is Tamara. This is why am I so happy about?
is very traditional. I consider myself almost like the black sheep of the family. Like I push the envelope. I feel like I'm very different, or we're very different in that way, even with our parenting styles. Like she's very traditional. I'm not saying she's narrow-minded at all. I'm just saying I have a very broad perspective on certain things, and she's very comfortable with familiarity. I'm the one that's taking the leap, should I say.
Okay.
So I feel like that's like the biggest difference that we have with us. I think religion. I am really into learning about other cultures and learning about different religions. I think she's very comfortable and content with where she is, where I'm like, I'm exploring, I'm like,
this may work for the family, but this is not necessarily working for me. Yeah, I'm like hiding my crystals from my family.
Tia is hilarious. She's hilarious, but she and Tamera do have a lot of real differences. And like I said, it can create some distance. Not only that, they have differences when it comes to their communication style. In fact, on their reality show, there was this episode where Tamera was getting married and she wanted Tia to be her bridesmaid, but Tia was pregnant and preoccupied with other things. So Tamera made her best friend Andrea her bridesmaid instead. And Tia felt a way about that. She also felt a way that she didn't have a lot of moments with her sister at her wedding. But Tamera was like, you were nowhere to be found. What are you talking about? But Tia could only think about herself and how it made her feel instead of looking at the big picture. And so they had a big argument about that because they weren't able to articulate their feelings in a way that they both could understand.
During your wedding, I felt left out. Honestly, Tia, throughout the entire wedding process, you were nowhere to be found. I don't see her for most of my wedding weekend, and now she's telling me I did something wrong. Are you kidding me, Tia? Honestly, I know you as being selfish all the time, so that's not how I know you as being selfish.
Also, there was another situation regarding their business. They were supposed to come together and do a website, and Tia was concerned that Tamera wouldn't prioritize it because she was living in Napa, but Tamera assured her that she was willing to dedicate herself to this project. Now, what was kind of messed up is Tia booked an acting job behind Tamera's back without telling her, so she kind of ditched the whole website project, and Tamera was left behind trying to clean up this failed venture. And this happened a lot. Like anytime they were supposed to come together and do something, somebody was always busy, and more times it was really Tia who was always busy because Tia is a workaholic. She has to work and book jobs because in her mind, if she passes on a job, she doesn't know when she's going to get another job like that. So she has to prioritize her own career because at the end of the day, she needs to make money to take care of her children. Okay, so I don't blame Tia for being busy and taking on other acting gigs, but I know it would be hard for Tamera because Tia would make commitments with her and then ditch them to do her own thing. And so this is why they don't do a lot of things together now, because they're just on two different pages.
Anyway, my agent just said that a network was really interested in doing a show with both of us. I heard about that too, and I was working on my end to make it happen because I was already talking to this woman. So how come we didn't have the meeting? Because we were waiting on you. You were busy. How come you didn't pick up the phone and talk to me about this then? Like if you're having an issue or if you want, to make a point, just call me. The reality is, and this is what a lot of people don't know about my sister and I, but everything that my sister and I have done, it's never been easy. We always find that we have to work extra hard. We don't know why.
There's always some sort of challenge.
So when you look at the dynamics of Tia and Tamera's relationship, it's always something. They have serious differences, and because of that, they're not going to always get along. They're not going to always talk to each other and see each other because they're just living their own lives. And when they do have a situation where they have to talk things out, it doesn't always turn out well. So I could imagine that right now, it's a bit harder for them to communicate because Tia is very vulnerable. She just got out of her marriage. So anything could probably trigger her. Any comment that she doesn't see as supportive can probably set her off. And Tamera wants no parts of that. And I think this is why she actually stepped back and gave Tia her space. This might be the reason why they're not close.
Tia's returning to reality TV.
I know. I didn't know until I found out with the rest of the world.
Any chance we'll see you on there?
She didn't ask me. She didn't. So I take that as shock. No.
You're like, then now we're good.
No, she's like, this is my story, right. And I can only respect that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Can I ask, are you and Adam trying to set her up on any dates or anything? Are you guys playing Cupid at all?
See, this is the thing. Tia is living her life right now, and Tia is doing Tia. I feel like she doesn't want any of our input right now. And I can only respect that. So I think she is doing her.
So that's what Tamera had to say about it. Tia didn't ask her to be a part of her reality show, and She said that she's given Tia her space. I do hope in the future they're able to come together and resolve whatever issues or misunderstanding they might have, because at the end of the day, they are sisters. They're different, but
And not just sisters, they are twins.
they're still sisters and they love each other. Now, lastly, I want to briefly talk about Chloe Bailey. She was on TikTok Live and she spoke on the reason why she hasn't been performing as much or she hasn't been as visible when it comes to her music career. And she put it out there that her label hasn't really approved of a budget for her.
Someone said, why haven't you been performing? Trust me, I would be performing if I could. The thing is that money goes into performances. So it's not free to do performances and you have to get budgets approved and things like that. So if I could, I'd be performing everywhere. Anytime anything, you guys have a question like with what I'm doing or anything, you know my work ethic is top notch. I like to juggle things. You know, when I shot Fight Night, I did Coachella. So when it comes down to it, I will do any and everything. So just know it's never my work ethic or if I don't want to do something, because y'all know I love working.
Now, this is kind of unfortunate for Chloe. It's really unfortunate how her project Trouble in Paradise completely went under the radar. I mean, she had no promotion whatsoever, none. And it was a good album. I actually liked it a lot, but I
mean, kind of look at it this way. You can't blame her and you can't blame the label either. It's the system, the way it's an economy, it's a system how it runs. They invest in you because I remember seeing in pieces everywhere because the label invested in her, expecting to get their investment back, to get their profit back. And probably they didn't. So they're like, this second album, the budgets that we used for the first one, we reduce it to half so that we don't lose money, because the first one it's more or less like first impression counts. Let's say I put in so much money in this business or whatever it is, and I'm expecting this thing to, I mean, give me some form of profit, and it doesn't. And the second one, that you, because the first one didn't, I mean, give you that profit, now you're skeptical about the second one. But instead of you putting the same zeal that you invested with the first one, now you're skeptical, so you do half of it. And that is when that one is more, I mean, that one becomes more successful. But just because you didn't invest in it, now you have lost. So now it's a lose-lose situation for everybody. That's the sad part in it. Because think of it as you are an investor and you want to, you have your money in the bank and you want to invest into a business to get money, and you send so much amount of money to this treasury bill or whatever you want to invest in, with the hope that you get your profits back. Then you didn't. Now the second one is here. This is a different venture altogether. Because of what this one did, now you're skeptical. If I should put in my own money, then that means I lose more. So for this time, I rather put in less so that even if I lose, I don't lose more. But now that you didn't put in more here, now this one has gained lots of profits for other people just because you didn't put in much money. Now you've lost potential money too as well. You've lost potential money and you've lost the money that you also invested in. I don't know if I'm making, so I'm just rambling. I'm just going around in circles. But if you get what I'm saying, so you can't blame either of them because they also, that's their business. You get it, and it's sad it has to be that way.
do realize that she's not really being prioritized. She is signed to Beyonce's Parkwood label, but she's also under Columbia Records. So Columbia, I believe, is the one that really authorizes the budget. And I think Parkwood's job is to really promote her and put her out there. But neither label has really prioritized her this time around. Now, with her album In Pieces, she was a lot more visible. She
Yeah.
had features, she had performances, she had a lot more promo. And I believe at the beginning of her solo career, the label seemed to be a lot more enthusiastic in pushing her. But that stopped, unfortunately. And I do believe, you know, the label was concerned about the sales and the streams and the charting.
Yeah.
The label looks at numbers. And if the numbers aren't looking the way they want it to look, then they will pull back their investment. They want to recoup everything they spend on an artist. So if they're not seeing a return on the investment, then that's when they stop putting any effort into that artist, which is unfortunate. But one thing I appreciate about Chloe is she is resilient. She is very hardworking.
Yeah,
Nothing is gonna
I just saw the line.
stop her from pursuing her music career. Even though her label hasn't given her the budget to perform on stage, she still uploaded a whole concert on Instagram. So she's giving the fans what they want, and she's also doing what she loves. And because she's staying consistent and she's working hard, it will pay off in the end.
Yeah.
It might not look like it now, but it will pay off, and she will get her moment to really flourish without anything holding her back. But anyway, tell me what y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment.
Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Now I know the difference between Tia and Tamari. I'm so happy. I don't know why it never occurred to me to just Google and find out what differences are. How to tell them apart. And now I know Tamara is consecutive and Tia is more lead. Tia is more out there. Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video.